What is up, everybody? Spot of Nerd here, and it is day 24. I forgot to do yesterday's day 23 or whatever the fuck I say with this shit, but yeah, I'm fucking exhausted. It's been a long ass fucking day, but I am determined every day in 2026. If you're watching, you get to see this beautiful mug every single day for 365 days. How lucky are you? I mean, seriously, I can't even imagine how lucky I would be if I got to see me, except I'm seeing myself right now in the fucking camera. I'm gonna throw up a little bit. Don't worry. We'll do that later off the screen. But yeah, today we're gonna have some fun, but we're also gonna get serious because pretty sure if you unless you've been hiding behind a rock, as the metaphor has said or shown or whatever the fuck it is, Minnesota's in the news again. And it's very unfortunate, and I'm not playing around, not kidding. It's truly unfortunate, but it does beg the question, and I'm going to relate this question more to the topic at hand. Of course, we're going to talk about Star Trek Starfleet Academy, the latest final, death shot to the actual Star Trek franchise that Paramount Plus supposedly approved of and actually greenlit and actually paid for. But it just comes and begs the question today in society, how did we get to this point of just the sheer lack of logic and the sheer lack of common sense? And I'm just allegedly putting that to anything nowadays, as you can imagine, because again, I have to be very careful around some of these topics that we discuss. But ultimately, again, just what the actual fuck? So, I'm not going to go into too much details around the world because I'm pretty confident if you know, you know. But just to give you a little bit of a teaser, a little bit of a taste, if you're not paying attention, Minnesota, Trump, where the hell is the Insurrection Act? Because let's be very clear, whilst anybody who is supposedly in charge of running the state of Minnesota, let alone Minneapolis, I don't understand how people still put these people in office. Now, let's be very clear. I am fully aware politics is rigged and it's bullshit and everything in between. I don't understand how you let your city go to absolute shit. Although I do actually understand because I've lived in many, let's just say, shades, allegedly blue shades of color states, shall we say, or places or areas. So I'm fully aware of how it becomes this way. I don't understand how you can be proud of it. You know, today something very terrible happened. A man unfortunately ended up losing his life because obviously there's videos, and again, I gotta be so fucking careful with what I say on these things, and I'm going to be very careful. So I will allegedly. But ultimately, what it is coming down to is there is a law, even if you don't believe in it. There's such a thing of what's that like? There's a metaphor. Again, it's Saturday night, it's late, blah 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 blah. The rule of law, like of human decency, of human common sense, intelligence, blah blah blah. I'm pretty sure you kind of, and I'm not trying to be funny. I'm genuinely there's like a human society or like rights or something, blah 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 blah. But it's just one of those things, facts and truths, where 2 + 2 is 4. Left to right, up, down, side, up, down. I mean, sure, maybe is there a fourth dimension? We don't know yet. I mean, Stranger Things blew that out of the water because let's be honest, that was some bull fucking shit. But there's just some commonplace human decency aspects, I guess is a word for it, where you really have to start thinking to yourself when you see these things that are currently happening in Minneapolis or Minnesota, and you have to wonder, Is it really played? And I don't mean that in a joking sense. I mean that in a, are these people actually being paid? Are they actually believing what they're believing in? Or is it simply just this is how it is now? Because transitioning here to Star Trek, Starfleet Academy, I'm pretty confident for those of you that may be still Trekkies out there, there are very few, if any, that still exist. This is the final nail in the coffin. Pretty sure if you follow the channel or you follow everybody else's channel that are much bigger and better than mine, Star Trek has had a very kind of it started as slow death and then ultimately just crashed, totally bled out. And this now is the time of death, January 2026, because they have gone so far up the metaphoric universe of the planet Uranus, I guess is a way to describe it. There's no coming back from this. I think I was watching, if you're not familiar, I'm a huge fan, Nerdrotic. I've met him, big idol. He came from nothing, blew up on YouTube, blah, 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 blah. Every Friday, they do a Friday Night Lights, whatever the fuck it is, where they just kind of discuss the week's things and blah, 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 blah. And they really did have a great, and I encourage you to go watch it. They really had a great broken record saying the same shit, a great discussion around Star Trek, Starfleet Academy, and it's you have to really grasp, even if you're not a fan of the Star Trek series. This new series, Star Trek, Starfleet Academy, is taking place 1,000 years in the future, and yet the way it is portrayed, the way it is shown, is as if it was literally Minneapolis today. And you just have to beg the question. Obviously, it's, let's be very clear. A lot of this is rhetorical. It's clearly written that way. It's clearly written towards the politics, the agendas, the ideologies, blah, 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 blah. But you really just have to take a step back and go, seriously? You actually thought, from the writers, the producers, the studio, blah, 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 you actually thought people were going to see this and go, fuck yeah. You actually thought a dying franchise, this was how you were going to get it? Like, this is how you were going to get the fans back, the fan base, whatever you want to call it? Are you fucking serious? There must be a level of crack smoking that I have never known existed in comparison to the way that this show is written. You're talking human society 1,000 years in the future, and every other word is, yo, bro, yeah, bro. It is like some of the combinations, again, I can't take credit for some of these. It's like a Dawson's Creek meets CW meets Forrest Gump, blah, blah, blah. It's a level of stupidity and a level of just insanity in terms of the writing for this show that knows no bounds. It's astronomical, no pun intended, being a space series. It's insane. You have species that never existed, that never should exist. You have other species, aka like the Klingons, that they've completely neutered and completely, if anything, although being fiction, disrespected their whole entire race and their entire ideology and culture just to basically prove a point in today's culture. And again, let's be very clear, this is fiction, it's not real. But wow, they have decided to, the way I can, this is, I'm going to take credit on this one, and I might fumble the words, but it is what it is. They have metaphorically taken the nature of Star Trek for what it is. And what I mean by that is, Kirk, Picard, Janeway, Cisco. And they've literally just taken the biggest shit all over their face and said, is that good? That is Star Trek Starfleet Academy. There is zero, I don't even know, you could probably go negative character development. There is no story. There is no, like, you have the Doctor from Voyager playing the Doctor from Voyager 1,000 years in the future, who has been dumbed down to the point of, wait, this is a hologram 1,000 years in the future. and he hasn't evolved a single day. The only thing I might give it a slight bit of credit, the visuals, you can tell they spent quite a lot of money on this show. Ultimately, I shit you not, people, rumor mill has it they spent around 10 to $12 million an episode. This is the death of Star Trek, and I hope and I pray you will not watch it. Do not waste your time. If anything, I hope you'll just watch me and you'll continue to watch these other folks like Nerdrotic, because ultimately, let us suffer. Let us suffer the consequence of this. Like I say, these just the last there's 3 episodes that have come out recently. You had the first episode, which you have this new lady blonde gal who's creating Starfleet after the so-called burn. It was a 100-year burn where basically humans and Starfleet lost the ability for warp drive, which would have been a great story arc, by the way, if you went down that road, but nah, fuck that shit, right? So ultimately, this entire series is based off of recreating Starfleet Academy. But again, I go back to what I was talking about in the beginning of this video. You are using today's ways of life. And I mean from a everything needs to be fucked, everybody needs to sit and watch themselves being fucked. It's like allegedly this is what it's fictionally all about. And if any of this makes any sense whatsoever, good on you, because even sometimes I go, what the fuck am I even saying? Because lots of it's up here and I can never get it out. But I think you can gather where I'm going. But what I was saying is just this last episode alone, there's like a military group and an education group, and supposedly they have this beef with each other. They're playing fucking laser tag with each other. Supposedly, and I go again, broken record, these people are 1,000 years in the future evolved. I could, if you were to literally mix these group of so-called cadets in with the city of Minneapolis right now, you couldn't tell the difference. And these people are 1,000, 2,000 years plus evolved in the future. You have to ask yourself, to the writers, to the directors, to the studios, if anything, as a fan, as a Trekkie myself, what the fuck happened? You used to literally speak on behalf of the Vulcans where logic was your standard. Common sense was just key, where you would dive into different cultures, different societies, albeit fictional, based off of reality. Whether it be politics, whether it be relationships, whether it be different species and races and discussions around climate and, the prime directive. Should you intervene? Should you not intervene? War, blah, blah, blah. They touched on everything. If, in fact, don't forget, Star Trek broke the mold when Kirk made his kiss towards Uhura. Life itself blew up back in those days during the civil rights. But it was a Trek that did it. I have absolutely no idea what this show is trying to do other than show its audience just how fucking stupid you are. And that I'm not afraid to share out loud because it's based off of a fictional show, and I'm just providing my opinion off of a fictional show, allegedly. Are you getting my point here, folks? Pretty confident you are. So we'll wrap it up. Look at that. We're going to keep this nice and short tonight. If you made it this far, I super duper in the pooper appreciate it. Seriously, thanks guys for watching and listening. If you like what you see, give me the thumbs, the subscribes, the follows. It is appreciated more than you know. And join the convo. I've said this before, I'll say it 1,000 times again. I would love more people on this. I need to get Richard and I need to get Alberto back on here. But heck, if you have a different opinion, I'd love to learn. If you don't, great. Let's have a commonality discussion and have just a damn good time. But until then, we will see you guys day 25 tomorrow. Later, y'all.